Weddings look magical, but nobody really sees what happens behind the scenes. So, this was me and Nidhi in Pushkar, running on almost no sleep, carrying laptops, answering calls every 5 minutes, and somehow managing an entire RSVP and hospitality desk. And honestly, the wedding tested us. We were freelancing for this event, and from day one, it was non stop chaos. The second we reached the property, work mood switched on. Guest list changing every hour, rooming sheets updating constantly, guests arriving early, transport confusion, last minute requests. It really never stopped. And when you're handling hospitality, you become the first person everyone comes to. Happy guests, confused guests, angry guests, everyone. And sometimes people are really sweet, and sometimes families in weddings can be a little difficult. There were moments where people spoke rudely for absolutely no reason, and after working 12 hours constantly, mentally, it starts getting exhausting. Because no matter how tired you are, you still have to smile and solve the problem politely. That's the part of events nobody talks about enough. You're handling pressure every second while pretending everything is under control. But thankfully, the company we were freelancing with was genuinely amazing to us, and honestly, that made such a huge difference. Good teams during events feel like survival partners, and in between all the stress, we met some really beautiful people. Some guests would come back to just to thank us, and some would sit and talk to us during the quieter moments. Some literally became the reason our exhausting day felt better. And somehow, those small moments stay with you the most. Pushkar itself felt unreal. The sunsets, the wedding music playing in the background, people dancing during the barat while we were running around fixing room issues on call. It was chaos and beauty together at the same time. There were moments we were so tired we forgot to eat, moments where our feet hurt so badly after standing the whole day, moments where all we wanted was 1 hour of sleep. But then, suddenly, you look around and see the entire event happening perfectly. The bride smiling, guests enjoying themselves, everything flowing smoothly. And that feeling, that's probably why people in events keep coming back despite how stressful it gets. Because behind every successful wedding, there's always a team silently running around making sure everything works. And for a few days in Pushkar, that team was us. People see weddings as a celebration, pretty outfits, dancing, decorations, perfect pictures. But when you work in events, you see the reality behind the glamour. There's this weird bond event people build during weddings because everybody is surviving the same chaos together. You start the event as strangers, and by the end, it feels like you've known each other forever. And in between all the stress, we actually met some really amazing people during the wedding. Some guests were incredibly sweet. Our team was the best. And one thing this Pushkar wedding reminded me of is that event life is definitely not glamorous all the time. It's messy, it's exhausting, it's stressful, it's unpredictable, but somehow is also beautiful in its own way. And even after all the stress, all the running around, all the chaos, me and Nitish left Pushkar with so many amazing memories we were definitely never going to forget. New experiences, amazing people, inside jokes, exhaustion, and stories we'll probably keep telling for years. So, yeah, this was our Pushkar wedding diaries. Not from the guest side, not from the dance floor, but behind the hospitality desk where the real chaos happens. I think, by day two, me and Nitish were barely functioning on proper sleep. Our morning started with calls, our night ended with calls because guests even woke up. We were already checking arrivals, updating room statuses, confirming departures, and somehow every problem during a wedding becomes urgent. The funniest part, half the people think that event teams magically control everything. Literally the funniest part, I'm telling you. Flights delayed, call hospitality. Weather issue, call hospitality. Guests forgot their luggage, call hospitality. Someone wants a room next to someone they fought with yesterday, still call hospitality. At one point, it genuinely feels like we become human calculator and customer care robots running only on caffeine and stress, because that's the reality of destination weddings. Everything looks perfect from the outside, but there's an entire team quietly handling disasters in the background before anyone actually notices them. And honestly, sometimes the pressure becomes intense. There were moments when 10 different people needed 10 different things at the exact same times. I mean, walkie talkies were buzzing literally constantly. And in those moments, you don't even get time to think. You just react. Problem, solve, move, repeat. That becomes your entire routine. And the crazy thing is, even after standing for hours, your body doesn't realize how exhausted it is until you finally sit down. There were nights we reached our room and just stared at the ceiling in silence because our brains were still processing the chaos from the entire day. And somehow the next morning, we still got up and did it all over again. And one thing I realized during this wedding is how important teamwork becomes in events. Because when one person starts getting overwhelmed, the other automatically steps in. There were moments when I was stressed out and Nidhish handled everything so calmly. There were moments when he got frustrated and I had to manage the situation. You genuinely become each other's support system during events, especially during destination weddings where you're together almost 24/7 handling non stop pressure. And despite everything, there were still some random wholesome moments that made us smile, like guests remembering our names, random as conversations at midnight with our other team members, laughing during breakdown moments because things got so chaotic that all you could do was laugh. And honestly, event people have a different kind of humor. When you survive stressful situations together, even tiny little funny moments become unforgettable memories. There was also the strange feeling during the wedding events, like we were watching beautiful moments happen while standing slightly outside them, watching families dance together, watching emotional moments during ceremonies, watching guests enjoy themselves freely, while we stood there making sure everything kept running smoothly behind the scenes. And weirdly enough, even though we were technically part of the wedding, we still became connected in our own way. That's what event do to you. You enter as workers, and by the end, you somehow carry pieces of the experiences with you personally. And Pushkar itself had such a different energy. I mean, everything felt alive all the time. And just like that, our Pushkar wedding chapter came to an end. After days of non stop chaos, it was done. It was finished, and we were so glad it was finished. I mean, we were literally breaking apart like every 2 minutes, so it was very necessary we get the hell out of there. I mean, we had so much fun, and we would love to see you at the next time in our next vlog. Anyways, this was me and Nidhi signing off from Pushkar. Until the next event, until the next chaos, and until the next wedding diary. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe and share. Thank you so much.